Hey guys, Smitty here with Just Piddlin Barbecue. Today we're going to be cooking a big piece of meat on a small grill. A 3.5 pound chuck roast on the Traeger Ranger. Stay tuned. Alright guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about can you cook a big piece of meat on this Traeger Ranger? So I'm going to show you today. I've got a 3.5 pound chuck roast. It's a choice. And we're going to cook it on the Traeger Ranger. I'm going to show you how that you can do that. But first, let's talk about the meat. This is a 3.5 pound chuck roast. It is a choice, but I want to show you that you can find a choice piece of meat that has some good marbling in it. So come a little closer and I'll show you this chuck roast. So right here you can see that it's got plenty of marbling. I mean, it almost looks like a prime chuck roast. Marbling over here as well, and all that's going to render down, get nice and juicy, and make this chuck roast really fall apart tender. So now let me show you how we're going to marinate this thing. To this chuck roast, we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to add a little bit to this side, flip it over, get some on the other side as well, and this is a thick chuck roast. This thing's beautiful, one of the better chuck roasts that I've ever had. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. We'll put some on this side, flip it over. I just want to make sure that everything gets on both sides. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So all 4 of these are going to be 2 tablespoons. And then 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. And I apologize for the wind. We just had that hurricane come through and it's windy, and now I got stuff all over my shirt. But we're going to let this go. I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator and let this go for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to do it on the grill. Alright guys, before we go any farther, I want to give a big shout out to 3 guys that have joined me on Patreon. Every Wednesday night we have a little private live stream, and if you want to be a part of that, go over to Patreon and to my Patreon page, Just Piddlin Barbecue, and join our Patreon and come join us every Wednesday night. This coming up Wednesday night, I might be debuting a new grill that we're going to add to our backyard. So go over to Patreon, Just Piddlin Barbecue, and join that Patreon. Come see us on Wednesday nights. Harley Smith, Mark Goyne, and Trip Hobbs, thank you guys. Appreciate your support. Now let's get into this chuck roast. So this thing's been marinating for about an hour, and I've blotted it off, drained all the juice off of it, and now we're going to season it up. I am using the brisket blend from Traeger as far as the pellets go. The Traeger Ranger is sitting on 225 right now, and that's what we're going to go with on the temperature. Right here I've got a little bit of melted beef tallow. I'll pour a little bit on this side, rub it down. That's going to be a little bit of a binder. I've got some Holy Cow from Meat Church. We're going to season that up on this side. Give a pretty good coat. It's got a lot of black pepper, great on beef. Obviously with it being called Holy Cow. And then we're going to go in with the Whiskey Bent Barbecue Piccanary, which is a pecan cherry rub. I believe that's how you say it. But I love Whiskey Bent Barbecue products. We're going to give it a good coating of that. Then we're going to flip it over and do the other side and get all the edges. A little more beef tallow on top. Rub that in. And the beef tallow and anything else that I use on the channel, you can go check that out on my Amazon affiliate page. There'll be a link in the description box for that. Grills, grilling accessories, rubs, sauces. Now we're going to kind of pat that in a little bit. This is a big piece of meat, so it can take a lot of rub. And now let's get this big piece of meat on that little grill and put it to work. Alright, sitting at 225. It's right now at 219. Alright, we're going to put it right there in the middle, close the lid, and let it roll. Alright guys, we put this on at 145 today, and now it is 345, so you can do the math on that. And now we're fixing to take it off, put it in this pan, and then I'm going to show you what else we're going to do with it. But as you can see, this Traeger Ranger is absolutely laying down the smoke. And look at that beautiful piece of meat right there. That is beautiful. Oh, golly, that is beautiful. Alright, so now we got our chuck roast, been smoking for 2 hours at 225 degrees. We got it back in a pan, and now I'm going to add 1 cup, which is half a cup of water, half a cup of Worcestershire. Right over the top of that. 1 stick of butter, cut in half, cut in half. So 1 total stick of butter is going to go in there. And then I've got probably 3 medium onions, 2 bell peppers, 1 red and 1 orange, and probably about 6 or 8 red potatoes cut into quarters, and all that's going on top. Just like so. And then I'm going to season all these vegetables with a little bit more of the whiskey bent barbecue right over the top. And I'm going to put this back on the smoker probably for about maybe 45 minutes to an hour, just like this. Let everything get broken down a little bit, and then we're going to wrap it with foil until it's done. Until I think that chuck roast is probe tender. And I'll let you know how long that takes. I don't really know how long that's going to take. We're still going to be cooking at 225 degrees. And if that changes, I'll let you know. But this is going right back on at 225 degrees on that Traeger Ranger, rolling some smoke. Let's get it back on. And as you can see, that half pan fits on there perfect. Put the lid down, lock her down, and let it roll. Alright guys, we're back out here at the grill shed. It is 10 after 7. And I just got it tender enough, we're fixing to take it off. But there's been some changes as we went along with this cook, so I want to kind of recap what we did real quick. Now, I started this Traeger Ranger at about 1:15. So it has been going since 1:15, and it's almost 7:15, so 6 hours. I haven't added a single pellet to it, so it's been running the whole time. So that kind of tells you how efficient this Traeger Ranger is as far as pellet usage goes, and it has laid down the smoke today. I would put it on par with that Traeger XL that I have as far as putting smoke down. But we put the chuck roast on at about 1:45. Came out here again and put some Worcestershire sauce with some water, some butter, some seasoning, potatoes, onions, peppers in a tinfoil pan. Put that back on and let it go for probably about an hour, and then wrapped it in tinfoil. Put it back on at 225 and let it go until about 45 minutes ago, and everything else in there is obviously done. The meat was done, but it just wasn't tender enough. So I wrapped it back up, kicked it up to 325 for about 45 minutes, and that's when it got really tender. So now we're fixing to take it off. As you can hear, the Ranger just cut off after getting the cool down process because it was already done. Now we're fixing to take it off, and I'm going to kind of pull it apart and show you the results. There's no way I'm going to be able to taste test it because it's hot as lava, and it's going to take probably a good hour or two to cool down enough to taste test, but I'm telling you it's going to be good. Well, let's take it off and I'll show you the results. Please don't let that drip on my feet because I got flip-flops on. See if we can get this tin foil off. Careful, because it's going to be steaming when it comes out from under that tin foil. It smells amazing. Now let's give you a little reveal. Golly, that smells amazing. And come take a look at this. Steaming hot, all that juice has come together with the Worcestershire, the butter, a little bit of water. Remember, we marinated in that red wine vinegar and the olive oil. Potatoes completely tender, fork tender. Onions caramelized. The potatoes have picked up that dark smoky color, but the star of the show obviously is going to be this roast. I wanted to go ahead and get it done. Look at that beautiful roast. Beautiful chuck roast. I might have lied to you. I might have to take a bite anyway. Smells amazing. Let me try to see if I can get a little bite. I wouldn't take a chance on scorching my mouth on anybody but you guys. That is exactly what you want out of a pork roast. Look at that. Beautiful. Great flavor. Ooh. This turned out to be a great cook. We're going to go in there, let it cool down a little bit, shred this apart, and it's going to be supper time. This goes to show you that you can cook a large piece of meat on a small grill. Traeger Ranger did outstanding today. Subscribe to the channel, please. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the description box below. Let us know if you try this. Let us know how it turned out. Appreciate you. Till next time, we'll be piddling. See you. Hey guys, Smitty here with Just Piddlin Barbecue. Today we're going to be cooking a big piece of meat on a small grill. A 3.5 pound chuck roast on the Traeger Ranger. Shit, that was almost good. And then we're going to go in with whiskey bent barbecue. And then we're going to go in with the whiskey bent barbecue picanary, which is a pecan cherry rub. I believe that's how you say it.